From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Thursday, October the 13th, 2016. 2 Israelis were killed this weekend in a terror attack in Jerusalem. The attack took place Sunday at the Ammunition Hill light rail station in the city when a Palestinian man drove past the stop and started shooting at people waiting there, killing 29-year-old Israeli police officer Yosef Kirmeh, who was running after the terrorist when he was shot, and 60-year-old Levana Malichi. The terrorist was identified as 39-year-old Palestinian Musba Abu Sabeh. He was shot and killed by Israeli security forces. The U.S. State Department strongly condemned the incident. Spokesman Mark Toner said there is absolutely no justification for the taking of innocent lives. We also condemn, he said, the statements glorifying this reprehensible and cowardly attack, referring to statements by Hamas. The United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, or UNESCO, the cultural arm of the UN, passed a resolution that challenges the Jewish connection to the holy religious sites of Jerusalem. 24 countries today voted in favor of the resolution in a preliminary vote in Paris. The measure was initiated by the Palestinians and formally submitted by Algeria, Egypt, Lebanon, Morocco, Oman, Qatar, and Sudan. It ignores Jewish ties to the Temple Mount and the Kotel, or Western Wall, calling the sites by their Arabic names except for twice when it uses the name Western Wall in quotation marks, though the measure does include a line that notes the importance of Jerusalem to the 3 monotheistic religions. 6 countries voted against the resolution. They are the United States, Great Britain, Lithuania, the Netherlands, Germany, and Estonia. 26 countries abstained from the vote. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu condemned the UNESCO vote today. He said to say that Israel has no connection to the Temple Mount and the Western Wall is like saying that China has no connection to the Great Wall of China and Egypt has no connection to the pyramids. With this absurd decision, UNESCO, he said, erases the little legitimacy left to it. Before the vote, Israel's President Reuven Rivlin said it was an attempt to rewrite history and that no forum or body in the world can come and deny the connection between the Jewish people, the land of Israel, and Jerusalem. B'nai B'rith International had sent a letter to members of the UNESCO Executive Board expressing their grave concern over the measure. Leaders President Gary Saltzman, Executive Vice President Daniel Mariachin, and Director of UN and Intercommunal Affairs David Michaels wrote, "The Western Wall is a key component of the temple complex that existed on the Temple Mount before the 2 ancient Jewish temples were destroyed." They said the Temple Mount is and always has been the single holiest site in Judaism and the focal point of Jewish civilization. The Conference of Presidents of major American Jewish organizations said the UNESCO measure purposefully distorts, denigrates, and seeks to deny the millennia-long historical reality of the profound Jewish connection to sites which are among the holiest in Judaism, Christianity, and other faith traditions. CEO of the American Jewish Committee, David Harris, called the resolution another attempt to undermine the very foundation of the State of Israel and the documented age-old historical Jewish connection to the land. And Israel's permanent delegate to UNESCO, Ambassador Carmel Shama HaKohen, said, "There is no connection of another people to another place in the world that comes close to the strength and depth of our connection to Jerusalem from a religious, historical, and national perspective, a connection that has stood the test of 2,000 years." And a letter signed by Democratic and Republican lawmakers from the House of Representatives and the Senate was also sent earlier this week to the UNESCO board, spearheaded by Republican Senator Ted Cruz of Texas and Representative Ileana Ros-Lehtinen of Florida. It stated that this unnecessarily divisive and selective resolution undermines the very purpose and integrity of UNESCO by seeking to rewrite Jerusalem's history, rejects Jerusalem's multicultural heritage, and undercuts Jerusalem's extraordinary diversity. A final vote on the measure will take place early next week. A lawyer and pioneer in the civil rights movement who once defended the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. has died. Jack Greenberg was the last surviving member of a group of lawyers assembled by Thurgood Marshall, who argued against segregated schools in Brown versus Board of Education in the 1950s. Greenberg also led the NAACP's Legal Defense and Educational Fund, and in 1963 he defended Martin Luther King when the late civil rights leader was jailed in Birmingham, Alabama for protesting against segregation. Greenberg died on Wednesday in Manhattan at the age of 91. American singer and songwriter Bob Dylan was awarded the 2016 Nobel Prize in Literature. The 75-year-old, who was born Robert Allen Zimmerman to a Jewish family in Minnesota, was recognized for, quote, having created new poetic expressions within the great American song tradition. Dylan is best known for his hits Blowin' in the Wind, Like a Rolling Stone, and The Times They Are A-Changin'. He is the first American to receive the prize in over 20 years. And taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Thursday, October the 13th. At 7 o'clock, it's Talmud Study with Mordechai Becker for the upcoming holiday of Sukkot. Then at 8 o'clock, Ina Yaloff discusses appreciation for Old World Jewish recipes at the Center for Jewish History in New York City. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with playwright Miriam Hoffman and her director, actor, producer son, Avi Hoffman, who discuss their collaborations with the Joseph Papp Public Theater and the work they are doing to enhance the world of Yiddish. At 10, Karen Kaplan talks about her book, Descendants of Rajgrad, Learning to Forgive. And coming up right after this newscast tonight at 6:30, Mark Golub speaks with Chloe Simone Valdery, Director of Partnerships and Outreach at Jerusalem U, on Black Lives Matter support of the BDS movement. That's on tonight's In the News. And that's the JBS News Update for Thursday, October the 13th, 2016. I'm Teisha Bader.